So I've had the Thermalright Hyper Vision installed for about a day now. I played some Cyberpunk on it for about an hour. Temperatures were hovering around 67 degrees Celsius on average. That was in heavily populated areas of the city. I was trying to run around and cause havoc there just to have a lot of things happening. CPU usage was hovering around anywhere from 50 to 70% there, so it's not 100% load, but I did end up at the end of that opening up a bunch of video recording and other software and kind of getting that CPU load up higher, and the temps were still around that 67 to 70 degree mark. So that's a huge improvement over the previous cooler, the AK620 from Deepcool, which is an air cooler. So I mean, there is that, we're comparing an AIO to an air cooler here. But that is what I was upgrading from. So the temperatures on that were 93 to 95 degrees Celsius playing Cyberpunk. Again, not at full CPU usage. That was really high, and more importantly, it was really loud. So that's the primary reason I looked into something like this. The noise profile here is a lot lower. As I'm recording here, you can't hear it. If I were to be recording with the air cooler, you'd be able to hear it pretty clearly. I did run a Steel Nomad benchmark as well, and it shows that the temperature was hovering around 56.13 degrees Celsius throughout most of it, with what looks like an artificial bump here to about 80 degrees. So that was a weird occurrence there. I'm not sure what that was, but that's also a lot lower than the air cooler. The air cooler had it around the low 70s, so 70 to 72 degrees Celsius during that test. So still an improvement there, and really happy that I switched over to this. Obviously, there is a huge difference in cost. The air cooler was $45 new in box on eBay. The AIO, the Thermalright Hyper Vision, was about $130 on Amazon. That's over double the price, but the performance I think is worth it. And then compared to other AIOs, so the NZXT Kraken I know is one of the AIOs that I looked at because I have the NZXT case, and I thought it might be a good combination just to go with that, and it might mesh well with the software that I already have. That was, from what I saw online, options were from low to mid 200s to low to mid 300s for cost there for the different models. So this option coming in at 130 is just much better value in my opinion, assuming that it has that same longevity. So there is a warranty for 5 years on the website. Overall, very happy with it. I think it's a good budget AIO. Thermalright has been innovating, and they've been ahead of the curve in the competition in the air cooling space, and I'm assuming they're going to bring that same innovation and effort to the AIO space as well. So if anything happens with this, I will provide an update. Biggest concern I've seen people had online were reliability and longevity. But overall, really happy with it. The TRCC software was a sticking point for a lot of people online. I saw people having to do custom workarounds to get their own custom GIFs on here. I'm using currently a custom GIF, but this is actually a default that I have up here just for privacy reasons. The custom GIF, I was able to kind of make my own GIF and upload that pretty easily, and did that from the settings menu. So opening the TRCC app, it'll start you off on one of these pages here where they have a bunch of templates for you to use. They have an overlay template, and then they also have background templates, so you can choose from those. So as you can see here, I have the base template, and if I scroll through, it just throws all these different templates over top of whatever image or GIF that you have in the background. And it does all this in real time, so as I move things on the screen here, it's moving on the AIO screen as well, which is pretty cool. So if you want to have custom images on here, what you have to do is go to this menu option on the far right, and you go to the background option, and you can load a PNG or an image file, or you can load video files as well. So there might be some restrictions on what video files you can load. I loaded a GIF, worked fine. But these basically just go into your operating system, your file search system, and you're allowed to pick from whatever videos or files you might have saved locally on here. There's a lot of customization options as well, so you can choose different types of information to appear on the screen. You can see all these different things here, and they're described down here what these M1 through M6 stand for. They correlate to these down here. Pretty easy to use. You can choose the units that they would show as well, right? Lots of different options. So lots of things you can change. You can move everything around on here however you want. You can change the text color as you want. You can change the text font, the text size, lots of different options, right? You can add the day of the week. You can add the exact date, whatever you want to do. Pretty cool. Custom text, so I can add in the name of my channel here and have that on here if I want. I can change the color if I would like, and then I can change the font size too. That's way too large. All right, so let's try 36. Cool. All right, so pretty easy to use. I saw a lot of people online that were they were hesitant to recommend the product because the software was so bad. It seems like the software has improved to the point of usability at this time. I tried a lot of their online workarounds because I was worried the software wasn't going to work, and those workarounds didn't work, but the software itself did. So pretty cool. Once you do select your custom image or video, you can make all these changes and then you can save it. And once you save it, it'll show up on this menu here as an option for you to apply. And you can kind of have different saved profiles. Overall, factoring in the cost compared to other AIOs and the performance, along with the ease of use with this software, I would definitely recommend the Thermalright Hyper Vision if you're looking for a low-cost entry into AIOs. I know Arctic has a few really good options as well that are probably cheaper or within the price range that this is in. I'm not sure if those offer LCD screens. That's something that I wanted, so that's why I went for this. So if you do end up with a Thermalright, feel free to do any troubleshooting you'd like in the comments or ask questions. They have so many SKUs for their products that it's kind of hard to keep track of them. It's kind of hard to get help with them online. So that's another caveat if you're going to be choosing their products. But they also just tend to work from what I've seen. So I'm hoping the AIOs continue in that trend. Thank you for joining me in this review of the Thermalright Hyper Vision. Hope you're able to get some useful information out of it. Until next time.